causing tonight. So, as we get into this, I hope your day has been well and that you're ready to relax and just have a good time trying to get some rest. So, as we put these cards back in their box, please get yourselves nice and comfy. And let's get ready for game number 1. And you know what? Let's start with a casino shuffle. That should be good. As we deal out our first game, quick question for you. What is your favorite type of lemonade? My favorite type of lemonade is a toss-up between strawberry and raspberry. Besides, I think like sweet tea lemonade. But cherry limeade is a very consistent, satisfying lemonade, especially during the summer times as we have ourselves a tough start here. And let's do this. I would have a tradition a bit with my girlfriend. We would practice baseball and tennis together. And we'd sometimes have like pretty regularly have 5-hour days. And afterwards, there's a Sonic close to where we would practice, and we would have ourselves a nice sized, that's an interesting ace of spades, come to think of it, cherry limeade slush. And with how hot it gets, it really hits the spot. Come to think of it, as a kid, whenever I would go out to a restaurant for a birthday, or whichever it may have been, I'd recall always wanting to get lemonade, since for kids' menus, I believe the regular options are orange juice, milk, water, and lemonade, maybe Sprite. My parents didn't like me having too much extra sugar, understandably so, as that's the end of our first game. As there's nowhere for that 4, 9, 8, 2, 4, 10, or 9. So let's move on to our second game. Anyway, they wouldn't enjoy or want me to have too much sugar, but if it were in the form of milk, they were fine with it. Sprite, I guess they were more fine with it since it was clear sugar. Like that's any better. And my goodness, we had ourselves a brutal loss, come to think of it. Double tens, queens, jacks, triple kings, sevens, amongst a couple more doubles. But for whatever reason, they'd be fine with me having lemonade as a beverage as opposed to water, even though in lemonade it has more sugar from most restaurants. I was gonna point it out to them, but then I realized so I could split it up. So it was usually too sweet. So I'd have 2 glasses of lemonade. Not too clever, but as a kid you feel like you're cheating the system. Alright, let's go for game number 2. And honestly, these cards are a little bit different than I thought they would be. But let's see how our next game treats us. I enjoy how the limes have a little hello moment while we do this. These little peek out, have some fun. There we go. So we will not be shut out. Alright, let's talk about these cards next. So these cards are actually pretty. They look nice. I don't prefer the washed look they have for the design. It seems like I'm playing with a tired set of eyes, where the color's kind of a little faded, I guess, as if we're in a dim room, and that is not really the case. So that's just a personal preference, don't like it too much. The actual card itself, they're fairly thin. They don't have the best control, not much grip on the sides. It's hard to handle. Some of them kind of decide to do what they please. Honestly, I was very excited about this deck. I thought it had lots of promise and potential. But now it's more towards disappointment. But let's take a step back and remember, is it better than a standard deck of cards? Design-wise, regardless of the washed color look, I think it looks better than most decks, or a standard deck for sure. Texture-wise, definitely not. A standard deck has this deck beaten out by a bit, as that is our 3rd play, I believe. Yeah, they just want to fall out of the hands and keep sliding and gliding. Durability is not there at all. These are not going to last you too long. Honestly, I'm not trying to be a bummer, but as we get our first fat stack, all things considered, the design, it seems a bit washed as well. It kind of seems a little simplistic to where it's very generic. Something I do enjoy about the regular bicycle design is that it has a sophisticated back to where it would be very difficult to replicate. And with this design, I feel it would be very easy to replicate, if not make better, in maybe an hour, just on the back design. As it looks to be the end of our second game, so we had a fat stack, double 8s, can't move anything else. We move on to our 3rd game. I think we're gonna have to hit this deck with a 4.5, so slightly worse than a standard deck just got lost in thought there. Not gonna lie, I was thinking about one of my other channels and just something to do. Kinda weird. Usually I don't do that or think about that when we play. I wonder why that is. I'll probably think about it when I'm falling asleep later. Or trying to fall asleep, I should say. Does anybody else do that? Or they like to analyze why they think certain things or do certain actions, and if it makes sense or has the right intentions, then it's easy to just move past. I know I do that, and it is not fun most of the time, but it is a good gauge of keeping yourself honest. But I wouldn't recommend it. Just be a good person. Have fun. It's probably the best thing about that. Alright, I believe this is our third game. Kind of got sidetracked. I just thought of something I could mention. So, in our members section, I am starting a series. Oh my, triples again. Oh, how we've been plagued so far tonight with those. In our members videos, we have a series that we kind of do pretty consistently called The Lost Episodes. We have a couple of those on the main channel, typically specials, but recently I decided we're gonna do mini-series within those lost episodes to have a little extra fun, since I've collected, or accumulated I should say, a fair amount of decks for our journey. We have a little bit extra, believe it or not, and I think it would be nice to do little episodic journeys with themes throughout. So that is our focus. In our lost episodes, we are currently doing a jumbo series. We have done a couple on this part of the channel, but we're finishing up our final part of that, and it's actually pretty fun. So if that intrigues you, give a little look, see if it intrigues you a little bit more, as I think we might have reached the end of our third game, as there's nowhere for that 8, 10, 9, or 6. Once again, the triples come to haunt us, not directly, but still there. let's add a win to our totals. What do you say? I swear, if we see another 3 in the starting hand, let's see, what can I do as a punishment? Oh gosh, make that another 9 as well. I was gonna say drink like 3 glasses of milk, but that actually sounds pretty good right now, and it doesn't matter. Game number 4. Let's hope for a little bit more and find out what's in store. Alright, that's a bit more like it. Oh, come to think of it, I just thought of something. How many of you have actually seen a lemonade stand in person? Like a kid selling lemonade in their neighborhood for like a quarter. As we hold that thought, we are getting absolutely destroyed right now. As we move on to our double check, as there's nowhere for that 6, queen, 5, jack, 7, and lastly king. On to our final game of the night with a casino shuffle coming up. Anyway, wow, another set of triplets that quickly, with a potential of more triple 10s, triple 8s. Yikes. Anyway, now I've always wanted to do that as a kid. Not explicitly lemonade, but I've wanted to have a little stand in the front yard and sell stuff for like $1 or so. Have you ever wanted to try that? And if so, what would you sell? So where I'm at, I always watch TV shows and movies where they did that and thought that's kind of silly. Who would want lemonade out of nowhere? And as I've gotten older, thinking about having a neighborhood lemonade stand, I would be considering getting a glass if I'm out on a walk or jog. 1, to support the kids. Little business plan and kind of acknowledging their braveness, prowess, determination, whatever you want to put with it, to having a lemonade stand. As well as lemonade's just pretty good all around. I would worry about the prep of the lemonade and sanitization, but you know, that's neither here or there. But watching that growing up always made me think, be a bit skeptical about it, and not really pursue any thought of it. And then as I watched other shows and movies, I usually liked watching the stuff, oh my gosh, doubles again. Things a bit more for the mature audience. It sounds so corny, but you know what? It's what it is. And sometimes they would have little things of legalities within them to where it would be illegal to run a business out of your front yard, like a yard sale or garage sale, without proceeds going to your state government and that type of stuff. And I thought, really? even though it's your own good and possession. And that further discouraged those thoughts as a kid. I thought it's just like $1 lemonade. Where's the sense? And already triples on the field. Looking back within my childhood, there were a lot of things I wish I wouldn't have taken so. What's the word? I wish I would have been much more thoughtless. Does that make sense? I think typically it's the other way around as we receive our second fat stack of the night. And double sixes, double fours still prevail. Honestly, if my kid ever wants to do something like that, or kids, I should say, I will be all for it and support them with whatever it may be, just so they can have the experience, look back on it, have a story, and then have fun while doing it. Because there are a lot of things I look back and think it'd be cool if I had the support behind me to try certain things, or just not be as skeptical about. So I want to provide that for my kids, within reason, when I can. Yeah, these cards, 4.5 is definitely fitting. Alright, back to the game. So, it's a bit of a tough spot. We need that 9, which we just got. Oh wow, didn't even notice that 8 waiting there. Alright, here we go. Perfect. Red jack or a king. Alright, black queen or a red jack. Another king. I guess it works. Nowhere for you just yet. And a 9. Interesting. Alright, last game of the night, and things just got very interesting. As we now have all 4 aces on the field, our third fat stack of the night. And we are on the cusps of a victory. Now we're for that 7, 8, or 3. So let's go at it. Go back a step. 7, 8, 6, and 7, 8. And my friend, what a comeback. Not just for this game, but for our night. So cool. So we add some decent numbers to our overall totals. They keep growing and growing. I yourself.